The Grey Knights, the secretive demon hunter Space Marines. A newer member, they weren't around for the original founding. These are the guys that you call when demons show up. If you want to fight some chaos stuff, they're your boys. They'll go down and they'll kill every demon they see. And then everyone who saw said demons as well. You might want the Grey Knights to fight some enemies. You don't want them to fight your enemies. They're on a no witnesses type strategies. And also, before I get into it, like I do for any faction like this, I'm gonna give a disclaimer. I'm not a big fan of the Grey Knights. If I'm gonna be honest, their paint scheme doesn't do it for me. Not into their design. The Dread Knight, I feel like, has to move their ranking down a couple points just on its own. And I'm not a big fan of their lore. But I say this because my intention for videos like this is I might not like a thing. That's okay. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and pretend that I think something's cooler than it is, but I'm also not gonna make a video where I just shit on a thing because I don't like it. That's not fair. I make these videos to either get people to like a new faction, have their new favorite, or for long-running fans of said group or character to enjoy it. So, despite this, I'm still doing my best to make sure I sing all the Grey Knights' praises. I think there's still some stuff that you can enjoy. It's just a lot in a flavor that's not for me. But who are the Grey Knights themselves? Well, this is chapter 666. I know. So they're, again, a super secretive chapter of Space Marines, created around the second founding, right at the tail end of the Horus Heresy, because Malcador created them alongside the little first scraps of the Inquisition, right when it was starting. And once, Malcador died on the Golden Throne, they kept the project moving forward. Which also, the Grey Knights came out of the Knights Errant, which were a big thing during the Horus Heresy, notable early members being Nathaniel Garrow and Garviel Loken, two of the coolest characters in the Horus Heresy. And they don't have to deal with all this pesky gene seed business because their gene seed, it's from the Emperor himself. So I guess the really only effect it could have is just make them psychically amplified. Which, yeah, that's a big thing for the Grey Knights. They are all psychers, and they're psychers of the topmost ability. These dudes, their training is fucking brutal, I gotta be real. They go through 666 rites of destitution to be even proven true. They're really hammering in that specific number. These trials that they go through would cull even the coolest of the named Space Marine champions to the point where they become the absolute stalwart warriors that they are, psychically empowered both in strength and pure willpower. All of their weapons are psychic in some way, even their bolter shells. They shoot you with psychic stuff because if you're fighting a demon, it's a little hard to stab a demon because they don't got normal bodies. They got warp stuff, so you have to kill it with warp stuff. And also, fun other detail with all this training, it's very much needed. You're fighting chaos, the most corrupting force in the universe. Even the sheer knowledge of chaos's existence will open the door to start slowly corrupting you. So they have to have a very strong mind. In fact, the Grey Knights can say not a single member of their ranks has ever fallen to chaos. Even the absolute wildest of the wild situations. And a character I actually really like, Castellan Crow, who rules, by the way. His mini was so cool. This dude has a talking demon sword that's really powerful, but sits in his head, constantly trying to corrupt him, or corrupt anybody in his vicinity to take the sword. It's so powerful, so corrupting, he has given himself this task to hold the sword, to use it, so it will not fall in anyone else's hands. So his life is sitting in his room alone from everybody, purely blocking out the voice of this demon sword. I don't know how you don't get corrupted by that. Even fucking Fulgrim failed to get corrupted by that, but not him. And as well, another part of their trials, they specifically memorize the true names of all the known greater demons that they have on file. So when these demons pop up, they can say their true name and banish them right back to the warp real easy. This is another bit that should be pretty impressive, because these are names with such empowered warp shenanigans that they will make you go insane just learning a syllable of the name. And they have a fuck ton, fully memorized, ready to blast out whenever they need it. And when they do, their strategy is to go in quick and just strike strong at the enemy. They teleport in and they just start blasting, killing everyone. They wipe away the demon threat and then turn slowly to the guardsman platoon that was fighting the demons at first. This is a good point to talk about the bit of their reputation. The Grey Knights have a little bit of a team killing reputation following them, mainly in the idea that they are fans of culling populations that get demon incursions, or killing off guardsmen who got a little too close. I might say this is a shit move. I think it is. I think this sucks. But there's logic to it, and I can't argue against it. It makes sense. Because like I said, chaos is so corrupting. The knowledge of it completely can fuck you up. In this universe, there are legitimate entities that sit around, and the moment you have an intrusive thought, the moment you even have a glimpse of sinning, like, yeah, oh man, I hate my boss, that guy sucks. And then immediately you have a voice in your head trying to get you to actually sin. 0 to 100 with chaos, so you need to get rid of people that know about it. And even then, the Grey Knights are actually secretive, to the point because if people ran around knowing that there was a secretive group who fought chaos, you know, that leads to talks about the existence of chaos. They're not allowed to be known about. So the only people that know that the Grey Knights exist, they are some real high ups in the Imperium, including some chapter masters of other Space Marine legions, and the Space Wolves. So anyone else that learns about them, they get mind wiped by the Inquisition to not talk about it. The Space Wolves, though, have a bit of a funny history. After a little war known as the First War of Armageddon, and what led to what the Grey Knights call the Months of Shame. In this battle, demons invaded Armageddon. The Space Wolves were there to help out. And the Space Wolves were going to help out the civilians, because they're pretty cool guys. And they saw that the Inquisition, specifically Ordo Malleus, which that is the main group that the Grey Knights are linked up with. They are the direct military arm of Ordo Malleus Inquisitors. They started to do just a little bit of population culling. Maybe not just pure killing, but they were castrating everybody and, you know, making sure they couldn't have kids to possibly be more demonic. So the Space Wolves weren't a fan of this. They thought this was really shit. So they started working against the Inquisition in this aspect. This led to basically a Cold War that an Inquisitor was really kept trying to push to go a little further on the Grey Knight side, which then turned into a full-on war when the Inquisitor and the Grey Knights, under his orders, directly called the chapter master Logan Grimnar in a parley. And then when he showed up, they opened fire on his ship, and he teleported on board, yelled at them, and he decapitated the Grand Master of the Grey Knights on board, and it led to a full siege of Fenris that didn't go well. So yeah, the Space Wolves get a special pass here, because I don't think the Grey Knights want to start that battle again. But yeah, the Grey Knights aren't majorly complicated, I don't think. The rest I could really go into a certain number of their characters. Some good, some eh. I mean, there's a common thing shitting on a single character. A single man who brings the ham. It's just not fully for me. What I will say though, for Grey Knight's design, I can respect the unpainted armor. Their helmet shape, also pretty solid. The fact that they use like big ass spears, I respect the shit out of that. However, I'm also eternally jaded. This is yet another faction that is jaded to me because I have never won a game against Grey Knights. I am a Custodes player, and oh my fucking god, Grey Knights have caused so many awful games, including ones where Trajan Valoris has a heart attack every time he walks. Grey Knight players, you know what spell I'm talking about. Honestly though, of all this talk I've been giving about them, if you want a legitimately good way to get into Grey Knights, I highly recommend you play Chaos Gate. Just play this game. It fucking shreds. This game rules, dude. It's probably one of the better XCOM clones I've played, and that's high praise since 40k has another one of the best XCOM clones I've played, which is Mechanicus. Both these games are great. Play this game. I shit on them all I want, but I'll have to forever live with Chaos Gate being a sick-ass game. And yeah, the Grey Knights, I think, are the accompaniment of the ends justify the means. They have strategies, they all work. You might not agree with them, you might not be a big fan of them, or the ethics behind it, but they get results, and they have the absolute reputation they do for a very good reason. But yeah, that's gonna be it. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe, do that stuff, join my membership, and see ya.